Bioshock Infinite is without a doubt one of the most ambitious titles in recent memory, with a story that isn't afraid to explore controversial issues and themes, and gameplay that brings a welcome set of new ideas to the increasingly stale first-person shooter genre.
Ascension in the count of 5. Count of 4.
No.
3, 2, 1. Ascension. Ascension.
Just stay calm.
5,000 feet. 10,000 feet. 15,000 feet. Hallelujah.
The game opens in a similar manner to the original Bioshock, with the player approaching an equally eerie lighthouse with little backstory or knowledge of your character's motivations aside from the cryptic sentence, "Bring us the girl and wipe away the debt." You play as Booker DeWitt, a former soldier looking to erase his egregious gambling debts by rescuing a mysterious woman named Elizabeth, living within the floating city above the clouds called Columbia. Columbia, a place where the founding fathers are worshipped as gods, is run by a man named Comstock, a religious zealot and self-proclaimed prophet who aims to keep you from finding Elizabeth. From there, the story goes off into some pretty crazy directions and toys with the player's expectations based on the original Bioshock in some pretty clever ways. The story also heads into thematic territory such as racism, religious zeal, that few other games would dare to tread, and manage to do so without feeling exploitative. The evolving relationship of the two leads, despite all of the insane places the game goes, is at the core of Infinite's story. Booker and Elizabeth's interactions play out in a believable manner, with little if any of it feeling contrived. The moment-to-moment gameplay stays true to the original Bioshock, with your various types of guns consisting of pistols and shotguns and the like mapped to the right trigger, and your gene-altering superpowers called vigors mapped to the left. The core Bioshock experience of mixing and matching different vigors with different weapons remains in Infinite, but it's the addition of 3 new mechanics, gear, tears, and sky rails, that set Infinite apart from not only its predecessors, but from the shooter genre as a whole. Similar to a role-playing game, Bioshock allows the player to collect gear, equipable pieces of clothing that provide special attributes to your character, such as a chance to shock enemies that damage you, or increasing your gun's damage with each subsequent kill. The sky rail is the primary mode of transportation for Columbia's citizens and can be utilized by the player to quickly maneuver around combat areas, providing a much welcome sense of speed and verticality to the game. My favorite addition to the game's mechanics, however, is the tears. Now, without spoiling too much, about a fourth of the way through the game, the player is granted the ability to place certain items into the level, be it a turret, a piece of cover, or a box of health packs. The only catch is that you can only ever have one at a time, and they only appear at certain parts of the map. Deciding when to use these special objects keeps the player on their toes, forcing lots of split-second risk-reward decision-making, which, when used in tandem with the gear and sky rails, add a significant amount of depth to the gameplay. But the game's not perfect. I ran into a few glitches, such as story sequences not playing properly, and even once an invincible enemy. While those are fairly minor in the grand scheme of things, they did force me to reload the game, which disrupted the flow of the experience. And a few of the game's shortcomings aren't even technical in nature, but instead lie within the design of the game itself, such as a particularly frustrating section halfway through the game involving a group of infinitely respawning enemies. But that minor list of complaints nowhere near overshadows the game's many strengths. I think Bioshock Infinite is the first step in a new direction for video games, and I don't doubt that the game will be looked back upon in years to come as one of the defining titles of the generation.